In 4th century BC Kushinagar, India, Siddharth, a royal prince of the Shakya clan, renounced his royal life after a visit outside the luxuries of the palace. Being kept in ignorance all his life about human pain, sickness, and suffering by his father, Siddharth faced an existential crisis when he saw a sick person, an old person, a dead person, and a monk on his first visit outside the palace. After that encounter, Siddharth left the grandiose lifestyle of the palace and his wife Yashodhara to attain a life outside of these luxuries. He cut his hair and exchanged his royal robes for simple clothes. He ate whatever he was given in his begging bowl. In that period, he started devoting his life to meditation and simple living. He spent 7 weeks under the Bodhi tree until he attained a state of life beyond birth and suffering, which he called the state of Nirvana. He became Buddha or the Enlightened One and spent his life helping others liberate from their own suffering. In his first sermon, the Buddha spoke of the middle way between the extremes of self-indulgence and self-mortification and described both as fruitless. He next turned to what have come to be known as the Four Noble Truths: the truth of suffering, the truth of cause of suffering, the truth of end of suffering, the truth of path towards the end of suffering. This is to be understood that suffering should not be perceived in a negative light. Life is suffering. It is an inevitable part of living, and acknowledgement is the first step towards elevating ourselves of the constant struggle of life between birth and death. The first noble truth is the identification of the presence of a physical and emotional suffering. The awareness of problem in hand which is disturbing the worldview of individual. In the modern world, source of suffering can be from numerous places: unhealthy body, toxicity in relationships, unsympathetic colleagues, emotional burden, and many more. After identifying the source, root cause behind the suffering is understood. The second noble truth is the understanding behind the reason of suffering. Buddha said that all of suffering have its roots in desire and ignorance. Desire of material wealth, perfection, high expectation and hopes from others. When these desires are not fulfilled, we feel dissatisfaction and unhappiness. Buddha also said that the reason behind human suffering is ignorance or lack of internal self-awareness and insights of our unconscious choices and habits, which deteriorate our life. Most of the inception of our desires is because of ignorance of inner self. Emotional responses such as hatred, envy, greed, or lust is the byproduct of it, leading to deviance from normal behavior. The third noble truth is the truth behind end of suffering. This have dual meaning. One is the end of suffering through giving up life from our physical body, and second one is the end of suffering spiritually, through escaping the cycle of suffering, birth and rebirth. Fourth noble truth explains the process of it. The fourth noble truth is the process behind attaining end of suffering, through adopting the noble eightfold path. The steps of noble eightfold path are right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Moreover, there are 3 themes into which path is divided: good moral conduct, understanding, thought, speech, meditation, mental development, action, livelihood, effort, and wisdom or insight, mindfulness and concentration. This is to be kept in mind that teachings that Buddha taught were around 2 millennium ago, and some actions may not be culturally accurate for modern times. Thus, interpret the words from your own personal experiences and learn from his teachings, because there is a lot to learn from him. Let me know in the comments about what you have learned from Buddha. Thank you.